One of the biggest investments I have made is just I have a family, and it can be hard for my wife. Like, hey, you're starting a business, right? So that the emotional investment for me is the big one. I wake up early, 3 a.m., sometimes 4 a.m. I'm on, right? I'm trying to build content. I have to coach my clients. I'm wearing all those hats. So I feel like the biggest investment, it's being my heart, literally the emotions and trying to build a business. But of course, there is pretty sure everyone listening to this right now, they want to hear about, they're like, yeah, I get it, Dave. So we're there as well, or we are past that phase. They want to know about the money.
Welcome to Career Coaching Secrets, the podcast where we talk with successful career coaches on how they built their success and the hard lessons they learned along the way. My name is Dayvisson, and I'm the founder of Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to $100,000 years, $100,000 months, and even $100,000 weeks. Before Purple Circle, I've grown several 7- and 8-figure career coaching businesses myself, and have been a consultant at 2 career coaching businesses that are doing over $100 million each. Whether you're an established coach or building your practice for the first time, you'll discover the secrets to elevating your coaching business.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Career Coaching Secrets podcast. I'm your host, Rexhen, and today's guest is Dayvisson DaSilva, the tech sales hacker, a job search strategist, consultant, and speaker who helps elite tech sellers and executives land 150,000 to 250,000 offers in record time without job boards, guesswork, or endless rejection. After breaking into tech sales with no prior experience and building his career at IBM and Microsoft, Dayvisson discovered what most sellers never learn. You don't land top roles by applying harder. You land them by selling yourself like you sell your solution. That insight inspired him to launch Tech Sales Funnel, a career accelerator where clients hack into hidden opportunities, master warm networking, and close high-paying offers in an average of just 84 days, backed by a 200% return on investment guarantee. So it's a pleasure for me to have him on the podcast today. Welcome to the show, Dayvisson.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you for coming, Dayvisson. It's a pleasure for us to have you on. So I wanted to learn a little bit more about when it comes to how you got started with your coaching business. You mentioned you've been coaching since 2006.
Yeah.
You were doing it. Yeah, before you were doing it pro bono, you were like helping people out, but it was coaching, and now you've gotten full time on it. So tell us a little bit about what inspired you to start doing this, even from the beginning, and then what inspired you to like take a step forward, and instead of like pursuing another tech role, you actually went full time into coaching.
Good question. I love that one. So let's start from the beginning of times, right? 2006, I was a senior career. They used to call peer career advisor in college. That was my job. I was a part-time job. I go to classes, then go to work. And I helped a lot of people with planning, their college degrees and which classes to take, and doing almost like life coaching, and then helping people get internships and jobs. I was like, wow. They would come back and be like, Dave, so thank you so much. That was amazing. Like, you changed my life. I was like, oh, this is really cool. I love this thing. I was like, oh, I can never make money doing that. I'm just gonna, graduate and get my job. And here I did. Graduated, did my job, but I was thinking about coaching. So even after graduation, I was still helping people, coaching and doing all this pro bono stuff for years, almost like 20 years now. And I absolutely love the people that I was able to mentor and give, guidance and light and all that. So, and then last year, about almost to the dot, exactly a year ago, I got laid off by Microsoft. But even prior to that, I was on paternity leave for 3 months. I had a sweet time that I had to bond with my youngest son, my fourth son. In the middle of the night, I still remember. I was like, I wasn't working. I was kind of like out of the the sales floor and all that. And then I had this epiphany. I was like, why just start some sort of a community and give back to the tech sales community? Why you just start posting on LinkedIn about how did you get into tech sales? Because it's changed your life. You went to IBM and then Microsoft. That changed your life. And then just talk about the daily life of a tech seller. So I started this series. I woke up that day. I'm like, you can go back on my LinkedIn profile. You're going to see one of, and I put like ... I don't know. I was like, I'm going to start this program, this series of how did I hack into tech sales? And I started doing that. I started getting some traction, people loving it. Everybody like, yeah, Dave, so that's a great content. And like you're giving back to the community. I was on paternity leave and I finished, got back to work and I just continued to do. That helped me, get more sales opportunities.
Mhm.
My clients knew who I was. I was telling my story. Everybody thought it was cool. And then I got laid off and by Microsoft and then having conversations with my wife and everything. She's like, hey, you love coaching and then you have been planning to do this coaching thing for so long. And then back and forth, I was like, okay, now's the time. But then I was looking for jobs. I was looking for a lot of jobs. I was getting offers. I was having conversations. I know how to get the job and I know
Mhm.
how to build my network. And just like you said, I was like, why not, going and getting a full-time job and getting back to corporate and continue to sell. I just felt like it was the right opportunity, the right window. It's scary, right? I have 4 kids and full entrepreneurship. It's totally like for some crazy, it's like bananas. I consider myself the top 1% crazy. So I'm like, for me, it's like just another day, even though, entrepreneurship is hard and everyone knows that. But I just decided to go all in and then I decided to create tech sales funnel. So I was like, hey, the name came, it was inspired actually on ClickFunnels. It's marketing. Russell
Mhm.
Brunson, he talks about, a lot of people know about it.
Mhm.
And I'm a big follower. I've studied him for 5 years. I would go to his conferences. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something similar. Tech sales funnels. I'm going to create funnels so people can get into tech. And it made sense. It just made sense. The name, everything. And then I've created my LLC, official business, and then I'm just went to work. And now I have currently, as we speak, I have 5 clients, and I'm actually coaching them on a
Mhm.
weekly basis, trying to help them to get jobs.
Cool, amazing. Great that you got to learn. And by the way, congratulations on your son too. That's amazing.
Yeah, Oliver is the youngest. I have 4.
Congratulations on all of them,
Thank you.
man. That's great. Awesome. So when it comes to the clients that you work with, for those of them that are listening to this or will be listening to this in the future, how would you describe the ideal client profile?
Wow, this is a good one because I was still trying to figure it out.
Mhm.
So my first idea, it was me 10 years ago. My perfect ICP is like I was doing insurance sales. I was high performer, but then I was gone all the time. I was busy. Sale was like going up and down. And then I decided, okay, I need to go corporate and do selling. And I decided to do technology. And that's why kind of the origin story of hacking to tech sales, right? I was like, I want to help that seller who was trying to get into tech sales to break into tech sales. That's how I started, and I quickly realized there's a lot of demand. There's a lot of people. In fact, there's a lot of people on LinkedIn and boot camps and courses. The demographics is looking for something quick, like a course. They don't. What I realized is they haven't seen the ROI of tech sales yet. Investing in
Mhm.
coaching, I started to see that was a little bit hard for them, and it was a little bit expensive. It's a high premium, high touch, one-on-one coaching program, right? So I was like, okay, maybe it should be me 5 years ago, which is me when I was at IBM already. I knew 6 figures, already in tech. I aware of the opportunities, and then I transitioned to Microsoft, which basically doubled my income and then triple later because of my sales and all that. But I was like, that's the one. That's the ICP, like mid-career, kind of building family, trying to buy your first house, trying to get more income, trying to get more, develop yourself in a career. And I
Mhm.
felt like this is my perfect ICP right now. It's me 5 years ago. Someone who can and I can relate the most, that I can help the most, show more empathy, and they know exactly where they land right now. But I'm also helping executives
Mhm.
more like in the later stage of their career. A lot of them, they haven't looked for jobs for a while, or the market now is different. LinkedIn is different, new. A lot of the stuff that they need help as well to be more visible to the market. And they see the value and they have the money to invest in themselves. They see the value of coaching and all that kind of stuff. So I'm between like, I'm divided because I want to help everyone. But right now, tech seller,
Mhm.
and I actually currently have a client on every category, but I'm leaning more like towards the middle, like the center, and the higher C-level executive.
Cool. And so how is it like to work with you so far? Is there a one-on-one kind of coaching program? Is there a program of certain length? How would you describe the engagement you have with these
Yeah. So
people?
the offer basically is like, hey, come work with me. Average time 60 to 90 days to land the offer. If you don't land in 90 days, I'm not going to disappear. I'm going to continue to work with you until you get the offer. So, but we meet every week for 12 weeks, at least 1 hour a week, a strategy call, straight up. And I do have a process that I try to follow. I'm trying to build as I go. One of the biggest challenges is trying to replicate myself, I would say, to take everything that is out of my brain and kind of create some sort of a system, a process, so I can scale, right? It's the only way that I can scale the business. But I do have my own methodology that I'm writing my book. I've been having those thoughts for years, and I have seen patterns, and that's what I'm trying to put together. But the accelerator, it's very high touch. It's very individual, personalized to the client. Even though, of course, we do the whole LinkedIn optimization, resume preparation for interviews, all the basic. I feel like every coach does, real coach. I'll say 70% is the same. Now the 30%, it's just my expertise in the industry, my personality, my network, access to my network, and other things that I'm trying to do, my partnerships, and that adds value to the program.
Where do people find you right now in terms of like marketing? How do you find people?
Yeah, I live and breathe, and LinkedIn is open right here. That's where people find me. That's where you found me. I believe I do have a YouTube channel, but I'm not investing too much time. I see all those people coming to me like, hey, if you only do this on YouTube, if you only pay this much, I'm like, I'm not there yet. My videos are there, but you find me on LinkedIn. I'm the tech sales hacker on LinkedIn. If you Google me, you find me. If you Google the tech sales hacker, you find me. But all my marketing, all my posting, everything that I do, I'm trying to build a community on LinkedIn. Now, I do have a podcast as well. Apple, what's the other one that's had a blank right now? Spotify and YouTube. I do have a podcast. People are starting to find me on podcasts. Also, I'm pushing more LinkedIn videos, YouTube videos. I do once a week. I do a live on LinkedIn, and I'm recording. People can find me there. If someone wants to, I have an assessment on my LinkedIn. If someone takes the assessment, they're gonna find out what kind of stage they are on the job search, and then they have access to a 15-minute strategy call. They can find me on that call, or if they want to, join the accelerator, then they will be work with me directly. But I'll say LinkedIn when it comes to social media, number one. I am trying to expand. Early stage, trying to build a business. I'm building a team.
Yeah.
But eventually I'll be, other places. I tried at first, it kind of scaled back. I'm like, okay, I'm going too fast. Let's focus on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn has been super helpful.
Cool. Yeah. So where are you focused on going next? So if you look at the future for the next 1 to 3 years, do you have any specific goals you're working towards?
Yeah, I have big visions for tech sales funnels. I feel like there's a huge gap on the industry when it comes to, let's just say this, tech sales, it's one of the best careers you can have. You can make, amazing income, amazing benefits. You're always learning. You're on the top, the edge of technology. So, which means like you're like aware of all the things that are happening. At the same time, there's always the other side, right? High risk, high return. Also amazing benefits, but at the same time, there's a lot of challenges, such as the industry is always shifting, right? The ground's always shifting. There's always layoffs. There's always restructuring. There's always new technology, and teams are closing down. All the teams are opening up, which I'm not even talking about the sales pressure every quarter, every year. And we already know as sellers that we have to, embrace those things. But I feel like one of the ways to support and help the community is it's make sure that they have a place where to fall back, where they're not afraid of losing their job or not afraid of, if they have to pivot to another company, then they know people that can raise their hands, say, hey, my manager is hiring. Why you come work here? If you're not happy in your current job, or, hey, I see your team, I just got laid off, but I'm part of this community where I know a lot of people and I can get referrals to my next job. So that's what I'm trying to build. And that will by itself will relieve a lot of stress of the sellers, because like I said, it's a very fast paced, high stress. Also think about a roller coaster. You're right on the front of it, and you're going down and you're going up. You're super excited, you make a lot of money, and then it can be really hard at the end. And but tech sales, they love that, right? At the same time, they have to be ready So I'm trying to build, actually, in 3 5 years, I have be the tech sales community where if you're trying to break into it, if you're on the middle of it, if you even try to retire, we can now kind of cross collaborate, help each other. There's courses, of course, there's the coaching, the accelerator, and also events and things like to just bring people together. That's the goal. That's the vision. Bunch of tech sales hackers together.
Amazing. I really like that goal. So what have been some investments you've done so far as a coach with your business that you feel either has been a very good investment and you've gotten a good return from, or you learned a lot? And what has been some investment that you feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that?
That's a good point. So I would say even before talk about I'm assuming you talk about the money investment. One of the biggest investments I have made is just the I have a family and it can be hard for my wife. Like, hey, you're starting a business, right? So that the emotional investment for me is the big one. I wake up early, 3 a.m., sometimes 4 a.m. I'm on, right? I'm trying to build content. I have to coach my clients. I'm wearing all those hats. So I feel like the biggest investment, it's being on my, my heart, literally the emotions and trying to build a business. But of course there is I'm pretty sure everyone listening to this right now, they want to hear about, they're like, yeah, I get it, Dave. So we're there as well, or we are past that phase. They want to know about the money. The best investments that I have made is actually in coaches. In fact, I think I saw you interview one of my coaches, which is Daniel Botero. He's the founder of the opening, which is a community of coaches. Another testimonial here for him and his team. That was a great investment. Early stages when I was trying to organize my offer and my coaching program and everything, they helped me a lot. They gave me the confidence that I needed. The biggest challenge for me was charging people, honestly. Like, it's still a little bit tricky because I'm confident I can deliver. I just haven't done for so many years for pro bono. That's making that flip and turn into a business. That was probably a challenge, and they helped me with that. And I invested in other coaches, and still invest right now. So I think the biggest investment, I'm a career coach, right? And I believe in coaching, and investing in coaching has been the biggest ROI for me. Now the investments that I made, that wasn't the greatest because we're in the middle of this whole AI revolution. I think I have tried way too many tools and I have probably spent way too many money trying to be like, okay, is this one's gonna work? Is this one gonna work? Shoot, I'm using this. I set up, you gotta charge. I don't even know I had it. So I'm actually going through my whole stack too. I'm like, let's get back to the basics, to the core, and just be like, maybe I should have a rule, no more than 10. If you add one more, you gotta delete. I don't know. I feel like we're being bombarded with all those solutions, and there's so many good solutions, but you gotta choose in between good, bad, and best. And the best thing that I can do now for my coaching business is just invest on lead generation, on the sales, and now starting to invest on some tools for the delivery, for the actual coaching. But I think I overdid on that one.
So when think about your goals again, where are you where do you see challenges that you're trying to solve for next in your coaching business? What challenges are you trying to solve now, short term, let's say?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge is, one of the challenges I think is, it's just the loaded, crowded coaching market. I would say there's so many coaches out there. And then maybe, I don't know. Some people maybe are losing trust or losing faith on, there's so many. Who is real? Who is not real? Right? Who's bringing the real value? And then and that's why I try to do a lot on not only like posting about, strategies and tips and tricks and all that, but I try to bring my uniqueness to the table. And, if people like my accent, great. If they don't like, hey, maybe Dave's is not the best. I'm from Brazil, right? By the way, I know from Albania. One of my best friends in college, they were from Albania. We played soccer together and all that.
Amazing.
You guys are good soccer players. I was very surprised. Anyways, but I'm trying to bring my uniqueness, like, right, to the podcast here right now, right? I'm like, you're from Albania. I like the culture. You guys are close to the Mediterranean and speaking different language. Anyways, when I talk to people, I try to get over that, barrier of leaders, all those coaches. Should I trust Dayvisson or not? At the end of the day, it's about know, like, and trust. If they know, like me, and trust me, they're gonna want to work with me. But that's a barrier. I have to overcome, other coaches have to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
And I am super open about who I am, and then if people feel comfortable with that, it's great, because I want to get to know them. I want to help them to the best of my abilities. And if I don't open up, if I don't build that trust, they're not gonna open up, or it's gonna be hard
Mm-hmm.
to coach them at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's how I build my. But I think, like, because of AI, there's a lot of content. There's a lot of everyone, not everyone, but there's a lot of people claim to be a coach. Because they can just chat GPT and then everything. I have been doing this from the time that LinkedIn was not even a thing, right? It was the beginning of LinkedIn. I think was created in, oh man, it was 2004, 2006.
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT was not even AI, and all this stuff not even existed. So, which is funny because I've been writing my book I had a bunch of papers here for like almost like 10 years, 15 years. So all those ideas that I'm having. And now you can
Yeah.
literally just go and you can just download a bunch of stuff, which is cool. But what I'm trying to say is that it's just getting over that barrier of the overcrowded information and all those coaches who claim to be coaches. And then even people, I have seen it. People even like, there's no way that they have all those testimonials and they just start
Mm-hmm.
coaching, and they're even like AI fake testimonials online, and you can see that as well. So it's really tricky to
Yeah.
navigate through that.
Absolutely. And it's absolutely true, because I've noticed that with so many coaches I've had on the podcast, it is an industry that is getting more crowded. Now, the good and the bad news there is, the bad news is, yeah, there's more coaches, but there's also a lot more need for coaches, meaning more and more people are going to need coaches. With all the changes that are happening in the hiring industry, there's a lot of changes in how people are hiring nowadays. And I feel like AI is taking out some jobs, bringing out new jobs.
Yeah.
It's an industry that is changing, and there's now a need for coaches more than it was before. I feel like it's just an industry that's going to keep growing. So it's not necessarily bad there's more coaches. The problem is that it's not a regulated industry, which means anyone could be a coach if they decided to do so.
Yeah.
Nothing really can stop them. I mean, there's certifications and things like that, but not all clients know about them, which makes it a little bit difficult to understand which is the right coach for you. Now, yeah, you get to meet the coaches and kind of like understand a little bit, but there's so many coaches, and anybody can just change the cover image on their LinkedIn and
Yeah.
call themselves a coach, and it's possible. Unfortunately, it is, but yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
once you work your way in and you create kind of like your referral network initially, set a name for yourself, it kind of like gets a little bit easier afterwards.
Yeah, 100%. And I like to see myself too as a job search strategist.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, think about a doctor where, people they have a problem and they go to several doctors, and then they're trying to get traction in trying to find out how to solve this problem. And then they're like, okay, I need to hire a specialist, or I need to, and then they decide to spend more money. They travel, they find that person, and then that person kind of solves the problem. I like to see myself as that, because it's not only like I'm very holistic when my approach is not only like, the resume and the applications. It's like a lot of it is life coaching. It's life coaching. It's mindset coaching. It's the job search coaching, but that's just a piece. A lot of times people, they're just burned out, or they just like, they know how to do it. That's what I like to think, like, that's why I like to only work with high performers. And even if they're wounded, let's say if they like a soldier goes to war, special forces, high performer, knows his stuff, but then he gets wounded and he comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the type of people that I kind of want to help. So a lot of times they know exactly what to do, how to operate, how to find a job. It's just like they need a little trick here. Like, hey, you might need some like some mindset adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
It might be some like self confidence, or even like you think like you're doing everything, but hey, you're not seeing those blind spots here. And that's what the value of the coaching is, anyways, right? So it's just
Yeah.
not reinventing the wheel every single time, creating a whole new magic wand, right? It's just like, yeah, and I feel pretty confident in doing that. In fact, I feel like it's a gift that I have, that I can
Mm-hmm.
jump on a call. I mean, 2 or 3 questions in a couple of minutes, and I can almost read your mind. It's just like, it's weird. I don't know how to explain, but I
Mm-hmm.
know where they are. I know where they want to go. I know how
Mm-hmm.
to map it out, and then kind of take from there.
Cool. So, and this goes to my final question is, since for yourself also, you want to be able to help as many people as you can, you want to make an impact, what advice would you give to other coaches who are also trying to scale their impact? And you can think of these coaches as coaches like yourself. What advice would you give to yourself?
Yeah, so good point. It comes very timing with this whole AI thing, and I just posted something this week on LinkedIn about just kind of own your story, like be unique. Like there's the AI that everybody's talking about, but also there's the HI, which I'm calling the humanity, intelligence, that you have to own it, right? Your story. A lot of times, because when we first start, we're like, you have to carve a niche, talk about, find your niche, early stage career coaches, find something that you're good at it and all that, or find a perfect ICP. But I think even before that, you have to find yourself. If you have to find, okay, what are you going to be happy at it? What are you going to be like when there's no money, when there's no clients coming, that you're still just going to show up and do and have the energy and power. If you're just doing for the money, and when there's no money, then you're going to stop doing it. You see what I'm going? So go within first and find out, okay, if one person show up on my workshop or 100, are you going to give the same energy? If the answer is yes, then you go for that. And that's the best advice I can give, I think, for early and people who are considering coaching, because again, there's a lot of information out there, but what's inside of you it's gonna carry you to the next phase, and you're gonna wake up excited. Even though early stages, everyone knows entrepreneurship as a whole, everybody goes through the learning curves and the deeps and trying to figure things out. So yeah, that's probably the best advice I can give.
Thank you so much, Dayvisson. Thank you so much for coming to the podcast today. For anyone who wants to connect with you or find you, they can go into LinkedIn and look up Dayvisson, the tech sales hacker. They'll be able to find your LinkedIn profile. They can also go into the website davisondasilva.com, which we're going to put into the description for people to find easily. But yeah, cool. Thank you so much for coming, man.
Yeah, thank you. If you want to find out more about the accelerator, I also have the techsalesfunnels.com, which is the other site that you can find me. But it was a pleasure. You guys are doing a great job on this podcast, and I'm glad I was able to make it today.
I'm glad you came.
That's it for this episode of Career Coaching Secrets. If you enjoyed this conversation, you can subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this episode to catch future episodes. This podcast was brought to you by Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to $100,000 years, $100,000 months, or even $100,000 weeks, all without burning out and making sure that you're making the impact and having the life that you want. To learn more about our community and how we can help you, visit joinpurplecircle.com.